Hi, I am Joshua Justice, and my information is as given in the slide. The topic of my presentation is the surprisingly simple solutions to Alzheimer's disease and their challenges. I only say surprisingly because my audience shall be my peers. This is mostly an overview of the topic at hand, unlike the informative paper previously written. The need for this presentation is mainly the education and informing of the audience on the matter, and the expertise of said audience I expect to be mixed. Now, let's get on with the topic at hand. The outline for this presentation is as follows: the introduction of the topic, the enabling technology used today, but spread over two slides, the controversy at hand that comes with the use of the enabling technology, the pros of the technology, my personal stance on the controversy, my conclusion to the presentation, and the references. I also end the presentation with a question answer prompt. To briefly introduce the topic, this presentation shall talk about the use of enabling technology in the prevention and treatment of Alzheimer's disease. As the topic says, the technology used is in fact surprisingly simple, in my opinion at least. The technology I will be focusing on are wearable devices and interactive devices, namely smartwatches and smartphones or tablets. Both are used to regularly monitor and maintain data of patients. The controversy I aim to point at is the ethical challenges that come with the use of such enabling technologies and also regardless of their use. In fact, I believe the ethical challenges that come with treating a patient of Alzheimer's disease are an important conversation to have. Moving on, the enabling technologies, once again, I'm focusing on are smartwatches and smartphones or tablets. I talk about each in separate slides. On with smartwatches. Their use is mostly in treatment. They help caretakers monitor and track different activities of a patient, such as their sleep, their walking, and their general activity. The collected data from smartwatches can be useful for caretakers and health professionals to address the various health aspects of patients and give accurate diagnosis. Most of the work done in smartwatches is using sensors to capture contextual and complete information. As for smartphones or tablets, they have the capability to fulfill the needs of a patient using easy to use interactive features such as a touchscreen, GPS monitoring, and voice recognition. The use of smartphones or tablets in the treatment of patients with Alzheimer's disease is in the enabling of the feeling of freedom, recreation, and relaxation among patients, which is important to maintain their quality of life. Just like smartwatches, sensors are again used the same way and provide the same utility as smartwatches, but incorporate a means of interaction and connection for patients, which was not previously there with smartwatches. As for the controversial element that comes with the enabling technologies, most of these issues revolve around a patient's autonomy throughout the treatment and their privacy throughout the constant monitoring. When it comes to the privacy matter, large volumes of user data are collected in a big data ecosystem, which might involve sensitive data like personally identifiable data, such as a person's medical information, or behavioral video recordings, which raises major concerns on the ethical viability of using these technologies due to the possible breach of data, which might lead to extreme consequences. Actually, not might, probably. As for the patient's autonomy, they may wish to be autonomous and remain living at home, but will end up becoming increasingly dependent on their caretakers. The patient's autonomy also conflicts with the caretaker's need to prevent harm, doing good to the family, and the autonomy of the caretakers themselves, thus bringing up a question of whether caring for a patient's autonomy and even treating them is necessary in the first place. Finally, the ethical dilemma about whether such technologies would and should replace human care is an important talking point as well. Considering such controversy, though, the potential upside seems promising. Such enabling technologies have the potential to provide autonomous care along with continuous remote monitoring of the patient, guaranteeing improvement in their quality of life. Now, isn't that cool? They also enable automatic assistance and can alert the caretaker for timely intervention, which is especially important in the treatment of a patient. As for the future of such enabling technology, which revolves around the use of machine learning, it has significant potential to inform of conversion to Alzheimer's disease, allowing for the prevention of Alzheimer's disease. Although the potential expenses that come with the implementation of machine learning, apologize, in this context, might be a downside, unless it is deemed a necessary expense. As for my personal stance on the matter, I believe the potential of enabling technologies and their future definitely outweigh the ethical implications of their use. As for our priority in the matter, it should be directed towards the prevention and treatment of patients with Alzheimer's disease, and not on whether they require it at all. Treating the sick is a concept universal to all. It should remain universal in this context. And also, with what the future entails, with the detection of Alzheimer's disease using machine learning, it should be our focus, regardless of the potential risks in data privacy and the expenses that come with its implementations. To conclude, using technology in prevention and treatment have multiple benefits, but come with many ethical implications, many untouched in this presentation, by the way. But with the future of such technologies, and the current ease of caretaking allowed using such technologies, the pros outweigh the cons by a massive margin. My stance lies with the use of technology, but I will go out of the way and say that I still acknowledge the important act of considering the ethics of the situation, especially one as fragile as the topic at hand. Now, I don't mean to contradict my final statement of the previous slide, but I do want to emphasize acknowledging the important act of considering the ethics of the situation. My references for the presentation are as follows. Most of my references are based on articles and are mostly pulled from my sources for the informative paper. Thank you for listening. And now, questions? I can understand one can ask about the untouched ethical implications that I've mentioned that come with treating patients with Alzheimer's disease. But let's save that for another day. Let's kind of limit our discussion of ethical implications to the autonomy of patients and, well, their privacy in their treatment. If there are no questions for today, I would like to take the opportunity to reiterate that I am very thankful for all of you listening. Goodbye.